From the Pubco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Press Row. I'm Barry Trammell, sports editor Mike Sherman standing in for Jenny Carlson, and we are brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Boss, let's get to the emails. Regan sends us a question. Can no one remember just a few years back when OU and Big 12 fans were chastising the Pac-12 and Big 10 for not having championship games? Now suddenly not having a Big 12 championship game is the end-all and be-all of college football. Once the Power 5 conference divest themselves from the NCAA, then will the SEC, ACC, Big 10, and Pac-12 band together and force the Big 12 to resume a title game. What do you say?
Well, I remember when all that happened. I remember 2003 when USC was the team on the outs because the Pac-12 did not have a championship game. The Pac-10 in those days, I believe, didn't have a championship game. OU, which did have a championship game, the Big 12 did. OU lost and still went to the BCS championship game at the Sugar Bowl and played for it, lost to LSU. So I remember things change. I really, really wish the Big 12 did have its championship game, but I see its point. Barry, the Big 12 plays 9 conference games. The SEC plays 8, which is better. 8 with a championship game, 9 without. I don't know. I think it's kind of a toss-up. I did hear this morning that there's talk that a majority of the Big 5 conferences would prefer to only play each other in the regular season. So the point would be moot. If they do that, then all the championship games go away, I think.
Well, here's why I think about this pressure from other leagues, which is be careful what kind of pressure you put, because it goes back to what you said. The Big 12 could counter and say, hey, SEC, hey, ACC, hey, Big 10, when are you going to play 9 conference games? Of course, the Pac-12 is sitting pretty, or sitting precariously as it may be, playing a title game and playing 9 conference games. If the Pac-12 ever starts exerting pressure, then you might see the need for a change. Keith asks, first offensive play of 2014, a quick slant pass from Trevor Knight to Blake Bell. That would be kind of sweet. What do you think?
Kind of sweet, kind of unlikely. I'm not big on ceremonial plays. I'm not big on standard plays. I do remember the Thunder games. Remember the days when it seemed like every game their first play they ran was to Desmond Mason. They ran and threw at him on the post, and he tried to get off a shot. I think it was an effort to get Desmond and his unique shot off to a good start. Sometimes they even do it for perk. I don't know. And if I was going to run a play to Blake Bell, why a slant? Let's make him a tight end. Throw him one hard over the middle and let him see if he can catch it like the tough guys.
Well, I don't think a quick slant to Blake Bell is going to help, because I don't think Blake Bell's in the business of being all that quick anymore. But I do like the idea putting him down the seam, play action. I think that'd be fantastic. The slant pass, when I was a kid, you'll remember this, tight ends would catch slant passes. These days, it's the guys out on the perimeter that are doing the slant passes. Let's go to John. He says, do you think that the people investigating Frank Shannon, Dorial Green-Beckham, and Joe Mixon are at all influenced by what is going on outside of their own specific investigations? In other words, if, say, Shannon is cleared to play, might that make it more difficult for DGB and Mixon? Are these things operating in a vacuum, or are they interconnected?
Oh, lightly connected, I think. I don't think Frank Shannon, from what I'm reading, and reading from Jason Kersey in the Oklahoman, I don't think he's going to be cleared to play. So that point, I think, is a little bit moot. Mixon and DGB are kind of interesting cases. However, you can't run a Cleveland County, a college football town, a district attorney's office. You can't run it like a banana republic. In a banana republic, all these things could be connected. Most definitely probably are connected. In this case, I'm going to say no.
Well, I think they're connected in this way. I think OU football is sort of wrestling with an image problem right now. Three cases of alleged violence against women by its players here in this calendar year. So I tend to think that Joe Mixon was a little bit of a victim of unfortunate circumstances. He was the last one, which means the spotlight really goes on him. If he comes before DGB transfers in, Doyle Green-Beckham might not have even been accepted. So I think there is a little bit of play at that these things do affect each other. And finally, let's go to Steven. He says, I know no one wants to talk about the 2016 NBA free agency. However, I have to ask, does the Thunder have an opportunity to re-sign or to sign Kevin Durant to an extension before the summer of 16? Do you think the Thunder will go over the cap if it means keeping Durant?
First, let me question your premise. Nobody wants to talk about free agency. That's all anybody wants to talk about. I get off the elevator, Joe Jacoby, head of U.S. Kayaking right down here in Oklahoma City, who, those guys have a great thing going down by the river. All they like to talk about is what's going on down by the river. And what did he want to talk about? Kevin Durant free agency. Of course, Joe, like me, is from the Maryland area, and everybody back there thinks Kevin Durant is coming home. That's what they're planning on. Barry, I think the answer is absolutely the Thunder has an opportunity. But why would Kevin Durant ever do it? Why would he sign before 2016? He has no idea what the new labor agreement is going to look like by then. The new TV contract. That's the big thing. He would give over the potential of millions of dollars to sign early. Also, about whether they go over the cap, they're going to do what it takes to keep Kevin Durant. That doesn't mean they're going to be successful. That just means they'll do everything they can to keep him.
Yeah, clearly they will go into the luxury tax, deep into the tax if it means keeping Kevin Durant. But yes, technically Durant could sign an extension before 2016, and only with the Thunder, of course. But he won't do it because it means it's not financially viable. He can make more money if he waits until 2016. The complexities of the collective bargaining agreement allow him to sign early, but he's not going to. There's no reason for him to do it. Hey, stay tuned for further Thunder, Sooner, and Oklahoma State Cowboy coverage here on News OK and Every Day in the Oklahoman. Press Row has been brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.